Hey Fools, David Hansen here.
And I'm Matt Copenheffer. Fools, much has been made about the revolving door at JP Morgan. However, the market doesn't seem to be reacting particularly negatively. Year to date, JP Morgan stock is up 11%. So David, when we think about this, when we think of the top people at the big banks and maybe at some of the slightly smaller banks, who would make a difference? If somebody stepped down, if somebody resigned at one of the big banks, who do you think would actually move the needle?
So who's the most important person to their bank?
Sure.
I'm going to go ahead and say Brian Moynihan. I'm not going to say he's the best. I've voiced my concerns about him before.
Again and again.
But I think he's the most important to that bank and to that stock right now because he's come out and he's voiced his intentions. He said, look, here's my vision for the bank. And that's what he calls it. He says he has a vision to simplify the bank, get rid of all that non-core stuff. So if he were to be fired or if he were to step down, I think that might signal some disconnection there at Bank of America, and I'd be concerned. What about you?
Well, you know, I guess we'll stick with the biggest banks here. And, you know, the person that jumps to mind would be John Stumpf over at Wells Fargo. But you know, the thing is that Wells Fargo is probably the best managed of the big banks. And I think there's a deep bench there, so I wouldn't be that concerned if Stumpf stepped down. I might be a little bit confused. That might be a little bit surprising if he did it out of the blue. I look over to JP Morgan. I think Jamie Dimon, in my opinion, would be a loss, but I think there's a lot more mixed feelings about Jamie Dimon out there now. Mike Corbat, if he stepped down at Citigroup,
he's so new, he wouldn't
so
even notice.
That might be a problem though, because I mean, then you've got a serious revolving door issue there, because Pandit just stepped down. But you know, in the end, I think I'm going to just agree with you. Surprisingly enough, I'm going to go with Brian Moynihan because you know I think there are people below him who could step in and do a good job, but just the place where that bank is at in terms of its recovery, I think if Moynihan were to step down at this point, it would kind of leave the bank in a little bit of a lurch and confuse investors, and I don't think that the bank really needs that right now.
I agree. There you have it, Fools. You can always read more on Fool.com.